For this lower body mobility reset, we're going to start lying on our back. Have your knees bent so your feet are really grounded, and use your fingers on your torso just to feel your breath for a moment. Make sure your exhale is long and slow so you're under control. And stretch your arms out, let your knees drop one way and then the other. Just kind of feeling a little bit of space around your hips. Noticing if there's the same amount of drop from one side to the other. One more time, just towards one side, a little bit of a roll to the next. And then bringing your feet flat, come up towards your elbows, feel your shoulder blades come together as you do the same thing, but now focusing on your hips, staying a little bit more grounded. So there's this rotation in with one knee and out with the other. Notice how this feels a little bit more focused on the hips rather than the lower back than when you were lying down. Taking it up towards your hands, we're doing the same thing but with even more connection into the ground. So as one knee drops in, you're focusing on keeping the hip really heavy. This is called internal rotation, and it might be a new sensation. So go slow and make sure there's no pain in the knee as you do this. It should just feel kind of like a cross-line stretch over the hip. Make this our last one on this side. And then coming up towards a squat, sit really low. Doing the same kind of feeling, but now your hips are completely off the ground, and you might mean that your knees don't go very far. Start to drop one knee towards the floor, and see if your chest can stay quite high. You might find at first your spine twists a little bit, but we're focusing on keeping it as stable as possible, and just rotating through our hip line. I use my arms to counterbalance. Maybe bring your elbows into your knees for a moment, getting deeper into your rock. We're going to start tracking the knee forward over the toes, just to kind of stretch the front of the hip. Again, this might be a new direction or stretch for you. You're rolling over the toe, you might feel a stretch in the ball of the foot as well. And you're trying to lean back and almost lift your hips a tiny bit off your heel. See if there's a different feeling one way to the other. Then come back to center, find a squat you can hold onto your feet if you like. And then forward fold, let your head drop. A couple more, drive your hips down, chest up. Using your exhale to fold, maybe go a little deeper. And again, sink your hips low. Your legs may not go straight, that's okay. We're just working to find a bit more compression. As you fold, your chest is reaching down. Okay, let's put our hands down. Step one foot back, we're going into a bit of a lunge. You can have a little rock if you like, and then step back. Take the other foot forward, you're driving your hips forward. Again, a little rock just to feel what's going on in the hip before you step it back. First side again, maybe come onto the knife edge of your foot a little more. Other way, maybe dropping the knee out a touch. And again. This time you can take the same arm up to the ceiling or put it behind your head and tap the elbow to the floor. We're going to do 4. So reach up, use your exhale to pull everything in. Twisting up, exhale down. And again, really spiral, rotating your upper back. Replace your hand. Set your back knee down and you're going to turn the foot out. This is called a half combat stance. What we're trying to feel is you're rotating through the back hip, and you should feel a stretch through both legs. Kind of the inside of the leg, the hip, a little bit of the inner thigh, and also quite a bit of the back thigh as well. One more is kind of rotational movement, sitting closer to the back heel. And then let's change. Step the other foot forward, sink into that lunge, and we're going to twist. Take the arm up, hand behind the head, send it down. Reach it up, and then elbow pulls to the floor. There might be one side that feels a little bit easier on than the other. Just notice those things. One more time. Replacing it back, you're going to send your back knee down, step the foot behind, and sink towards the back heel. And lift off the back knee into your lunge. kind of rocking in and out of these spaces just because I really want my body to recover in these ranges. But also it's like a signal that tells my body I'm okay going here. And I can get stronger and deeper the more reps I do. If you can take your hands off, feel free. It puts a little bit more stretch into the leg line. Okay, let's take it back to plank and then straight back to the first side. Stepping your right foot forward, reach that right hand all the way back into a twist. But this time we're going to straighten the front leg into a little forward fold. Take the right hand back into a twist again if you want. Hold onto your back foot, you get a bit of a quad stretch. Folding into this hamstring reach, chest forward. And again to twist, reach to your back foot, maybe pull it a touch closer. Reset the hand, drop. Easing into that range. Squeeze your glute, it helps the stretch be a bit more effective at the back. And then as you fold, squeeze your quad, it helps the hamstring stretch be more effective. We're going to fold here for about 4 breaths. You might find your hands start on the ground and then over time your elbows start to reach further. But keep hinging your hips back and using your exhale to encourage yourself to go lower slowly. Catching hold of your back foot. Same thing, 4 breaths. On each exhale, I kind of have a bit more space to pull. And an inhale is my rebound if I pulled a little too far. And then taking it back. Change sides. Carrying the same arm up and back, so left arm reaches. Setting it down, both hands on the floor, pull your hips back. And reaching all the way around. If you want to catch hold of your foot, you can. You can get a good stretch in your hip even without holding on. Let's do a couple more as you twist. I like to use my exhale because it really lets me wring out my spine. Then I inhale to move. Exhale to fold. One more, up and back. Twist. And as I fold, I drive my hips high, so I'm not really sitting on my back heel. It's a little bit higher than that. Same thing on this. I use 4 breaths. Each time lets me sink an inch lower, but I'm always keeping strength or tension in my quad. The front of my knees engaged to support the hamstring stretch. Carrying it back, hold onto your foot. That same thing, drive the heel towards your glute. There's a little bit of support from the front as well, so your ribs are staying strong and down. Using your exhale to sink deeper as required. Okay, let's take it back. Walk ourselves all the way back into a hanging forward fold at the back. You can have a little sway. Really let your nervous system know that you're chill. Then taking it down, sit on the floor. You're going to have one shin crossed over the front, the other behind. So I kind of crawl my hands forward. You should feel this like a bit of a stretch through the outsides of your glutes. Guys, everyone's different. If you want to take this quite low like I am, you can. You can also get a really good stretch through the outsides of your hips by sitting tall as well. As long as your legs are kind of crossed like a double pigeon. And then changing sides, bring the other shin forward. If anyone's feeling like they really want a bit of extra stretch, they can put your shins stacked one on top of each other. Just make sure your knees feel very safe because your feet are always flexed, okay? Strong ankles, supported knees. Let your hips get the stretch that they need. Let's take another breath here. And then bringing yourself up. Right, take the legs out, but not totally straight. Have a little bend in the knees so you can really press your chest down towards your thighs. You can let your head drop as well if you like. And then over the course of the next few exhales, you can draw yourself deeper. Maybe the legs start to straighten. But our priority is keeping our chests and our thighs closer together. So it's a full back line stretch from the backs of our feet all the way up the back of the leg and into the spine as well. And then bring yourself into a comfortable cross-legged position. Maybe roll your shoulders or your head a bit. And you are done. You can roll over. It's totally optional. This is Mellow Moments with Danielle.